Someone recently attempted to tap into your energy field, but the moment their awareness brushed against your spiritual perimeter, they recoiled dramatically. Their breathing shifted, their composure fractured, because what they encountered surrounding you defied all common expectations. It wasn't merely strong, it was profoundly ancient, a force far older than any metaphysical training or esoteric understanding they possessed. This is the truth of your existence. From the very instant you manifested in this reality, a deep part of your essence steadfastly refused to be deciphered. Your energy operates on a plane entirely different from the average spiritual signature. It possesses a volatile, dynamic nature that doesn't submit to a quick analysis, refuses to be pinned down, and certainly never yields to the superficial curiosity of those attempting to decode it. You are resonating at a frequency that transcends the constraints of this current incarnation. You are, in essence, carrying a form of spiritual technology that predates the very genesis of human instinct and intuition used for energetic interpretation. This profound difference is precisely why people often find themselves staring at you for an uncomfortable length of time, why they silently scrutinize your every move, attempting to gauge your intent, study your surrounding aura, and penetrate your true motivation. Their intense observation isn't a sign of their advanced spiritual wisdom. Rather, it's a visceral reaction to your presence, which effortlessly disrupts the restrictive boundaries of their known reality and understanding. The very moment someone tries to penetrate and interpret the signature of your energy, an internal alarm is triggered within them. A subtle tremor runs through their system. A cautionary voice whispers in their subconscious, "This person is unlike the others. Approach with extreme care." They come prepared to expose what they perceive as your vulnerabilities, only to collide with a monumental, ancient pulse of power that encircles you, a spiritual depth that fundamentally refuses to be exposed or compromised. Unbeknownst to them, they aren't truly reading you. They are merely skimming the surface of an energy field, meticulously guarded by a force that is infinitely wiser, older, and vastly more potent than anything they have ever encountered or imagined. Understand this essential truth. You are not simply difficult to read. You are, in a deeply profound sense, spiritually encrypted. Your entire being is woven with divine codes that only the forces of destiny itself have the authority to activate at the appointed time. This foundational truth explains why you have perpetually felt a sense of separation from the mundane static and clamor of the world around you. Your deepest essence was never intended to be grasped or comprehended by the capabilities of ordinary, untrained minds. You are truly seen, you are demonstrably rare, and whether you have consciously realized it until this very moment or not, you are fundamentally protected by spiritual forces that move ahead of you, diligently watch your back, and stand firmly beside you at all times. If you are already experiencing that familiar, undeniable resonance in your spirit while absorbing these words, that is an excellent sign. It signifies that you are perfectly aligned with the truth of your unique journey. But before we delve further into the exact nature of the ancient power they sensed, take a moment to engage with this message. Acknowledge this spiritual confirmation by commenting with the number 99. In spiritual numerology, the number 99 represents the climactic point where something previously obscured or hidden is powerfully brought into the light. And today, an incredible truth about your unparalleled spiritual identity is about to be unveiled. People never approach you in the casual, routine manner they use for others. Some attempt a quiet, almost covert observation, maintaining the pretense that they are simply making a general assessment. Others arrive with an overwhelming, almost arrogant confidence, certain that their self-proclaimed spiritual gifts grant them unreserved access to scrutinize you as if your soul were an open book. Self-proclaimed psychics, overzealous empaths, professional energy workers, envious souls, and even just the genuinely curious. They all believe they possess the necessary credentials to analyze your aura. They incorrectly assume your spirit will behave and react in the predictable manner of every other person they have encountered. They begin their attempt seeking perfect clarity, but instead, they are immediately confronted by a towering presence that bends and distorts their very powers of perception. The attempt always follows a similar, predictable pattern. They invariably first recognize an anomaly about you, something that simply defies their established logic. You may speak infrequently, yet your presence communicates volumes. You may not outwardly display excessive emotion, yet your mere existence dramatically shifts the entire energetic atmosphere of a room. You make no deliberate effort to impress anyone, yet people feel an irresistible, almost compulsive urge to focus their attention on you. Your silence resonates like a booming announcement. Your composure is fiercely magnetic. Even without uttering a single syllable, your intrinsic energy effortlessly pulls their inquisitive attention toward you, like the moon commanding the relentless ocean tide. They do not choose to begin their study of you. Rather, they are utterly summoned by an intractable force within you that simply refuses to go unnoticed or unacknowledged. However, the exact moment they attempt to move in for a closer, deeper examination, their established narrative violently shatters. Individuals who previously took immense pride in their ability to read energetic fields suddenly find their intuition glitching, faltering, and ultimately failing. Their established, reliable methods of assessment simply cease to function. They can perceive the surface-level attributes, the discipline, the unwavering resilience, the deep inner calm. But when they attempt to drill down into the core, they encounter an impenetrable, obscuring spiritual mist that absolutely refuses to dissipate. Your core spirit steadfastly declines to reveal its deepest essence. Instead, it deliberately conceals itself behind intricately woven layers that their basic spiritual training was never designed to penetrate or navigate. They arrive expecting to find easily identifiable patterns, but your energy follows no predictable routes. They anticipate uncovering deep emotional wounds that they can easily categorize, but your scars are not signs of weakness. They are encrypted hard, won lessons that remain fully inaccessible to any uninvited gaze. This is the precise moment when internal confusion begins to surge within them, challenging their spiritual competence. Their analytical mind desperately attempts to process a spiritual signature that their own spirit has quite literally never encountered before. Their gut instinct tells them there is so much more here, but I cannot reach it. Their vulnerable ego whispers the desperate question, why is it impossible for me to figure this person out? And a subtle, nagging fear murmurs, perhaps I should simply retreat. This is the critical juncture where everything about their internal assessment process dramatically shifts. Their confidence, even if only for a fleeting instant, utterly cracks. They lose the firm sense of control they had assumed was theirs. They are forced to realize that they possess no power to anticipate your next move, predict your reactions, or neatly fit you into a pre-existing category. You remain fundamentally unreadable because you were never spiritually constructed to conform to the narrow, limited lexicon of their spiritual language. Your energy is not a simple narrative they can quickly interpret. It is an entire spiritual realm they were never granted permission to enter. Their initial curiosity swiftly morphs into pronounced discomfort. Their early fascination crystallizes into nervous hesitation. Their stated intention to expose you paradoxically leads to the exposure of themselves. And just as they begin to seriously question what colossal spiritual force they are dealing with, an entirely different element makes its presence undeniably felt, something they were completely unprepared to sense. An ancient, sovereign entity that possesses no obligation to answer to their human-level inquiry. This profound internal confusion, however, is merely the beginning of their spiritual education. What they sensed next truly revolutionized their entire outlook. The instant someone truly connects with your energetic field, even for the most fleeting moment, they are brought face to face with an absolute reality they were never spiritually prepared to interpret. It makes no difference whether this person is a highly experienced intuitive, an overly critical observer, or simply someone who stumbled too close to your spiritual radius. The second their awareness gravitates toward your inner essence, they perceive a towering presence that does not belong to this current era. It impacts them like an abrupt and overwhelming change in atmospheric pressure. A sudden, deep pressure behind their eyes, a quiet yet profound heaviness in the surrounding air that communicates a silent, unmistakable message. You have unequivocally trespassed into sacred, guarded territory. They fully expected to simply analyze your personality traits. Instead, they encountered your powerful ancient lineage. Your spiritual energy is not young or inexperienced. It is not modern, nor is it shaped by the transient trends of today's world. It bears the indelible imprint of countless ages, of formidable civilizations that flourished and then vanished long before their own ancestors were even given names. There are potent, dormant codes residing within you, ancestral sequences, profound divine signatures, and dormant spiritual activations that vividly whisper of spiritual battles fought and won long before the moment of your physical birth. When people make an effort to read your energy, they are not feeling the superficial layers of your aura. They are, in fact, feeling the profound echo of everything that has protected you since your eternal beginning. They perceive ancient, unassailable wisdom wearing your present physical form. They sense formidable, silent guardians standing sentinel behind your very shadow. They feel an ancient, potent strength actively pulsing in your stillness. And because their limited spiritual vocabulary offers absolutely no frame of reference to categorize this, their mind is instantly flooded with a profound, unexplainable sense of awe that they cannot articulate. Some individuals describe this sensation as a palpable, almost crushing heaviness. Others report it as an unexpected, terrifying spark of fear, and still others describe it as an overwhelming, immediate awareness that something ancient just looked straight back at them. This explains precisely why your presence fundamentally polarizes the people you encounter. Some are instantly drawn to you with deep admiration without understanding the reason why. They possess an inner capacity to recognize authentic truth when they feel it. Others experience an irrational, immediate fear because a deep instinct within them knows you are profoundly aligned with forces they possess no power to control or navigate. There is a profound reason why people have whispered about you, intensely observed you, nervously backed away from you, misunderstood your motives, or granted you immense respect before you ever spoke a single word. Your spirit inherently carries an ancient authority. This authority is not loud, not aggressive, and certainly not performative. It is simply ancient and self-evident. It is a form of spiritual authority that requires no announcement to command respect and obedience. It is a kind of power that does not need to overtly shine to be profoundly seen. When someone attempts a psychic reading of you, this inherent authority immediately rises to the surface like a silent, unbreakable tide. They might momentarily perceive a sudden flash of light, an incomprehensible symbol, a strange ripple of energy, a towering shadow that is not physically yours, or a majestic presence that seems older than the concept of time itself. They have no spiritual training or context to interpret any of it, so their instincts either irresistibly pull them closer or violently compel them to retreat. Some will try again later, desperately hoping to finally comprehend what they felt. Others will refuse to ever approach your proximity again, but every single one of them, without a single exception, walks away fundamentally changed. This is because, whether they will ever admit it or not, they did not just perceive you. They perceived the formidable ones who walk with you, the mighty forces who have successfully carried you through every spiritual storm you have never spoken about, the divine entities who claimed you and sealed your fate long before the world ever attempted to limit or define you. Your energetic field is far more than mere energy. It is a repository of ancient, living memory, and ancient memory, when fully activated, possesses immense and unparalleled power, and this potent, ancient presence that constantly surrounds you exists for a clear and divine purpose. What the majority of people fail to comprehend is that your spirit is not aimlessly drifting through this world without protection. The truly chosen ones are never permitted to walk alone. Long before any individual attempts to spiritually peer into your essence, long before their curious intention even touches your aura, something supremely ancient steps forward. It is a definitive barrier, a shield, a divine seal that absolutely refuses to allow any uninvited or misaligned intentions to cross its threshold. This pervasive protective layer is not merely symbolic. It is structurally, spiritually real. It completely surrounds you like an impenetrable fortress, entirely invisible to the physical eye, yet undeniably apparent to the soul attempting entry. Those who try to read you mistakenly believe they are engaging with a quiet, single, solitary energy. But the very moment they attempt to push past the surface, they violently collide with a defensive force that was never meant for them to access. Guardians, not imagined, not metaphorical, but genuine, authoritative spiritual entities who stand resolutely at the gates of your energy field with a supreme authority that no level of human intuition can ever override. Some of these powerful guardians originate from your own bloodline, carrying the collective, focused strength of ancestors who fiercely refuse to allow your spiritual legacy to be compromised. Others are purely divine, assigned to your care by destiny itself, and collectively they create an unbreachable spiritual firewall that absolutely cannot be manipulated or bypassed. This is the reason why so many people, even those who sincerely consider themselves highly spiritually awakened, suddenly feel a palpable sense of spiritual disruption when they attempt to read your energy. They experience a sharp, unexpected pressure in their head, as if their analytical thoughts are being deliberately intercepted and interrupted. They feel an unexpected, overwhelming surge of fear, as if a powerful, unseen entity is actively watching and assessing them. They experience goosebumps on their arms, not the pleasant, validating kind, but the kind that serves as a physical signal that they have stepped into territory for which they were profoundly unprepared. Some experience a shocking and total silence in their analytical mind, the sudden, complete disappearance of the intuition they rely upon, as though their primary insight channel has been abruptly switched off. And others, without being able to articulate a single reason, simply and immediately step back. They withdraw their attention. They nervously change the subject of conversation. They lose their original focus. They physically distance themselves. They have no idea how to intellectually explain it, but their own spirit instantly recognizes that it has crossed a forbidden boundary. And here is the element you may not have fully grasped until this very moment. Every single one of those intense reactions was a direct spiritual warning, a divine intercession, a protective, instantaneous interception. This is because your core energy is not intended to be casually handled or accessed by everyone. Your spirit carries highly sensitive information, precise divine timing, unique destiny, and powerful spiritual assignments that must remain absolutely sealed until the divinely appointed moment. Therefore, when someone, out of simple curiosity, raw jealousy, or misguided ego, attempts to seize what was never intended for them to touch, your sophisticated protection system activates instantly and forcefully. What they interpret as confusion is, in truth, divine interference. What they call an unsettling, strange feeling is the potent energy of your personal guardians placing themselves decisively between you and the peering world. Think back carefully for a moment. How many times have you witnessed someone lean in close to your personal energy field, only to suddenly, almost violently, pull their attention away? How many times have you observed people become visibly nervous, immediately intimidated, unsettled, or simply overwhelmed when you were doing nothing at all to provoke them? How many times have you felt someone attempt to read you and instantly sense that powerful, invisible shield tightening around your essence, as if a silent force was declaring, "Not this one, not today, stand down"? And not a single one of those profound moments was a coincidence. Not a single one of those reactions was random or accidental. Your supreme protection has been ceaselessly active throughout your life, even during the times when you were not consciously aware of its powerful presence. This is the profound, ultimate reason why you remain unreadable, not because you are deliberately concealing yourself, but because the forces of heaven are concealing you. Yet, even this formidable layer of constant guardianship represents only one facet of the truth. There is an even deeper, more fundamental reason why your energy remains inaccessible, even to those who boast of highly refined spiritual skills. A reason intrinsically rooted in your unique purpose, your unfolding future, and the solitary, momentous path that only you were truly born to walk. This deeper truth ensures that every attempt to decipher your spirit completely collapses before it can ever reach your core essence. A truly chosen individual does not walk burdened by the static weight of the past. They move forward with the vibrant momentum of the future. Your energy does not broadcast an archive of what has already transpired. It actively broadcasts the powerful potential of what is actively becoming. And this profound distinction alone makes you an absolute impossibility to interpret through the lens of ordinary, past-focused intuition. Most people approach energy reading by tracing old spiritual wounds, searching for familiar behavioral patterns, and attempting to predict predictable emotional reactions. But when they turn their attention to you, they find no past archive to analyze. Your aura does not echo yesterday's failures. It intensely vibrates with the intricate architecture of tomorrow's divine plan. This is why those attempting to read you feel utterly disoriented and lost. They are attempting to grasp a spiritual field that is still actively unfolding, still being meticulously written, and still aligning itself with the ultimate divine timing. You carry destiny codes, spiritual blueprints intricately programmed into your very essence, long before you even drew your first physical breath. These codes are not simply memories of the past. They are clear, immutable instructions. They are predetermined pathways. They are powerful signals from your future self, constantly calling you forward. And because they point solely to something that has not yet physically manifested, absolutely no one can interpret them except the Supreme One who placed them within your spirit. When someone attempts to psychically sense who you are, they perceive intense movement, but not emotional movement. Rather, timeline movement, shifts, pulses of energy, and undeniable momentum. They catch brief glimpses of monumental breakthroughs they cannot possibly place into context. They sense an intense, unwavering alignment they are unable to explain. They see highly symbolic imagery that was never intended for them to read or understand. It is precisely like staring at an intricate map, meticulously written in an ancient, sacred language they have never before encountered. They understand that the symbols possess profound meaning, but that meaning belongs exclusively to you. Some individuals remark that your energy feels inexplicably too big. But what they are genuinely sensing is the relentless expansion of your future, stretching far beyond the confining limits of their current understanding. Some say you feel overwhelmingly intense. But what they are actually touching is the vibrant fire of your calling, preparing to powerfully ignite. Some immediately feel a massive shift the moment you enter a room, but that shift is, in reality, your destiny actively rearranging the surrounding atmosphere to make the necessary space for your next powerful assignment. And here is the ultimate truth most onlookers never even consider. They are not supposed to interpret what they see. They are not the predetermined activators of your purpose. They do not hold the spiritual key to your next level of elevation. Your destiny is not ultimately triggered by human admiration, fleeting jealousy, simple curiosity, or fallible human intuition. It is exclusively triggered by God and God alone, This is why you must remain unreadable. This is why the symbolic images people perceive around you feel perpetually disconnected and strange. They are only catching unauthorized fragments of a future they were never spiritually sanctioned to witness. You have undoubtedly noticed it yourself, the way some people meticulously study you, searching desperately for clues, only to walk away infinitely more confused than when they started. They might see an abrupt flash of light, a metaphorical doorway, a potent symbol, or a dominant presence, but they possess absolutely no frame of reference for what any of it means. They sense your spiritual elevation arriving long before it physically manifests. Yet they possess no capacity to accurately translate what they are feeling, and deep within their being, this lack of control profoundly unsettles them. While they are desperately trying to force you into the restrictive confines of their limited spiritual understanding, your spirit is already firmly established in a realm vastly beyond their reach or comprehension. Your destiny codes are fully alive. They are intensely active. They are constantly shifting you into spiritual and physical positions you have not even begun to fully imagine yet. And absolutely no one, no psychic, no empath, no casual onlooker, can successfully interpret a future that was handcrafted specifically for the distinct requirements of your path. They are attempting to interpret complex divine circuitry using only rudimentary human intuition. It is a fundamental spiritual impossibility. It will simply never work. And as these individuals grapple and struggle with the overwhelming intensity of what they sense, they are led to realize a deeply life-changing truth about you. Something that dramatically rewrites their entire perception of who you are and the monumental power you carry. And this profound realization leads us directly to the greatest, most unexpected truth of all. Here is the incredible truth that absolutely nobody expects, not even the most self-assured among those who believe they have mastered energy, intuition, or spiritual perception. When someone attempts to read the energy of a chosen one, the energetic flow of information does not move in the direction they imagine. They incorrectly assume you are the open book. They believe your aura is the passive subject being thoroughly examined. They trust that their intuition is the powerful observer, but the very moment their probing awareness reaches toward your powerful field, something deeply ancient reverses the direction of the gaze. Without realizing it, they cease to be the observer. They instantly become the one being observed. Your energy does not passively conform to their interpretation or expectation. It powerfully and precisely reflects their intention. Your energy field does not reveal your personal secrets. It reveals theirs. Your core spirit does not passively open up for inspection. It instantly transforms into a mirror, a powerful spiritual scanner that starkly exposes the true nature of anyone who attempts to enter your space without genuine, pure permission. This is the profound reason why people so often walk away from your presence feeling deeply unsettled, yet completely unable to articulate the reason why. It is not because they saw a troubling element in you. It is because a part of them was unexpectedly, glaringly exposed. Your powerful presence mandates a form of involuntary spiritual confession. Hidden jealousy immediately rises to the surface. Genuine, unreserved admiration becomes unmistakably obvious. The envy they desperately tried to conceal suddenly reveals itself with blinding clarity. The fears they never consciously acknowledged become undeniable. Curiosity, fascination, and deep-seated insecurity, everything they desperately hope to mask gets reflected directly back at them with a spiritual clarity they cannot possibly evade or escape. They believe they are meticulously analyzing you, but they are actually standing directly in front of a powerful, spiritual truth-telling mechanism. They believe they are accessing your core energy, but they are truly confronting the imposing shadow of their own self. They believe they are exploring your inner layers, but they are, in fact, watching their own hidden intentions being illuminated, one by one. And here is the element that most people never realize: the ancient, powerful presence they felt was not emanating directly from you. It was the majestic spiritual authority standing definitively behind you, this authoritative presence, the one that instantly startled them, the one that exerted pressure on their intuition, the one that forced them to abruptly step back, is not your core energy. It is your supreme protection. It is the powerful, decisive force that rigorously filters who is permitted to approach, who must maintain a respectful distance, and who must never be allowed even one step into your spiritual space. This spiritual authority does not engage in negotiation. It does not offer explanations. It does not soften its powerful demeanor to ensure the comfort of others. It stands behind you like a towering, silent guardian, possessing the supreme, unreserved power to decide precisely what any individual is spiritually permitted to perceive and absorb. Some people feel an immediate, profound warmth when they perceive this presence, a clear sign that their innermost intentions are pure and clean. Others feel a chilling cold, exposed, or intensely watched, a definite sign that something in their own spirit is fundamentally misaligned. And a distinct few feel immediate fear, not because of anything you did, but because the vigilant guardian standing behind you has instantly assessed them and found something within them unworthy of access. This explains why the reactions you consistently receive from people often seem deeply disproportionate. It explains why some are instantly, magnetically drawn to you, while others instinctively avoid you without a logical reason. Why some admire you with deep reverence and others resent you immediately upon meeting. Your core spirit is not the one casting judgment upon them. Your vigilant spiritual authority is. Your powerful energy is not present to be passively decoded. It is there to diagnose. It reads their motives, not their future predictions. It discerns the true state of their hearts, not their historical timeline. It reveals who someone genuinely is, not the fabricated persona they are trying to project. And once you fully comprehend this, once you truly grasp that every significant reaction you have ever received has been a reflection of the other person, not a judgment of you, once you realize that people were never truly seeing you but seeing the truth of themselves through you, everything in your life and your past spiritual experiences suddenly begins to make profound, cohesive sense.